Hi guys, so now we're on vlog number 4 and we're just gonna jump in to the Rhetorical Act and then go to reading pop culture where we're gonna do, so we're doing chapter 12 in the Rhetorical Act and we're doing chapter 7 paired readings in reading pop culture. So, woo! We're talking about visual rhetoric in chapter 12. And so there's 3 principles and we're gonna get on it. So the first is that visual messages are persuasive and are becoming better than spoken and written word in this 21st century. So videos and pictures are a lot easier for a bigger amount of children, like a bigger population. So children, adults that can't read, teenagers who don't want to read, those people can actually contribute from the message. So that is the first principle of visual rhetoric. So 1, visual messages are more persuasive right now. 2, visual messages elicit positive and negative responses simultaneously. So, visuals are very complex but they're very persuasive. So, seeing is believing is a very common, phrase, and it's very true because people like to see things for themselves and make their own conclusions. And there's a lot of positive and negative responses to a lot of different images, and most of the time it's at the same time. You're not gonna 100% say, I love that picture, it's amazing. Most people are gonna say, I love it, but there's something about it that I don't care for or isn't my favorite. It doesn't have to be completely negative. It's just there's going to be multiple responses. Number 3. Oh, I touched on this a little bit in that one. But so visual messages are efficient, emotional, and persuade. So emotion, I think we already know, is a huge persuasion. One thing that I like to say is you can't fight feelings with facts, because some people you're just like, oh, but I don't feel like it. I feel differently, so even though there's all these facts, people still don't always listen. So visual images have a lot of emotion, they're very persuasive, and so they're very efficient. And there you have, chapter 12 in the Rhetorical Act. Now we're going to get on to reading pop culture, chapter 7, paired readings. Oh shoot, what are they? Okay, so we got Violent Media is Good for Kids, which sounds really weird, by Gerard Jones. And then second, we have Secret Skin, an essay in unitard theory. Another... these sound like weird topics, but they're actually really interesting, and this is by Michael Chabon. And so the first one of Violent Media is Good for Kids. This guy talks about his life and how his parents sheltered him, and kind of feared being angry and violent. But then he found Hulk comic books, and that actually led him to become a writer because it made him figure out who he is, and he found communities because of that. And then he also talked about how now, he has a son, and his son was scared to climb a tree, so he told him a bunch of Tarzan stories, and they read the Tarzan comic books and watch movies and different stuff, and it helped him climb this tree. He became Tarzan, and it helped. So these action movies and these comic books are actually really good and beneficial, because if you don't find a way to express your emotions of anger and violence, then sometimes they can come out in not the best ways. He touched a little bit on school shootings, and it made him question, and he put more of a, he looked closer at schools and the kind of media and different things. This made me really think that, like, so the fear of youth violence does more harm than good, because we don't, by saying that it's bad, kids won't indulge, and then they'll explode because they've bottled up these emotions. And that, I think, primarily is a lot of the reason why school shootings happen. And I'm not saying that other things don't affect it, but I think that could be very much an underlying reason. He talked about a little girl who would do very violent, draw very violent pictures, and then the teacher was like, no, you can't do this, and she stopped drawing them, and she started acting them out, and she started rebelling. But then this guy and his mom worked together with her so that she can express these stories so that it didn't hurt anybody, and it was just expressing herself in a positive way. So yeah, these types of stories and comic books and movies and all these different things, they help people express their maybe violent, rage-filled emotions that, I mean, people get angry. It's a way of life. But so this is like a way of expressing them without expressing them that can hurt people, physically or emotionally, because even just saying mean words can hurt someone. So yeah, that was Violent Media is Good for Kids. And number 2, Secret Skin, an essay in unitardism. Or unitard theory, sorry. This is by Chabon. And so he first talks about how he had a religious school teacher that would teach them that we can hurt ourselves. And so they talked about like shoplifting and different things like that. And then he went on a conversation of comic books where there was this little boy who tied a towel around his neck and got on his roof, and he wanted to be like Superman and fly, and he jumped off and fell to his death, which is very sad. And he was trying to tell, like, the teacher was trying to tell the kids that this fantasy is lying to you. But then the author goes in to think about it, and he's like, no, it's not. It's an escape. It's an escape. It's to transform you and to escape the world around you. It's not lying to you. But superheroes aren't a new subject. There have been a ton of crime fighting, costume wearing people for a long time. It's just that Superman started the superhero idea, and it was a big thing in comics. But overall, this article talks about how it isn't the superhero, it's the costume, and how that towel that you wrap around your neck to pretend like it's your cape, it transforms you, and you want to escape, to become this superhero and wear his costume, but the costume is just an illusion. It will never exist, and no matter what you wear, whether it be tights or a cape or fancy boots and have a sword, I don't know, you're never gonna be that superhero. And it's just the costume makes you feel good. It's your secret skin where you can be yourself. And And so overall, it's that these comic books and this costume makes you feel the most you and the most alive, and it transforms you into your best self. So, okay, so we did, what was it? Chapter 7 paired readings and chapter 12 in the Rhetorical Act, and I'll see you next time. Bye.